What's up guys, this is Delusion from Del Does, and today we're going to be taking a look at part 2 of my TwinBlast guide, where I'm going to be looking at the deck that I use. But first of all guys, let's just make sure we maintain that community love. And in each game that we enter, let's throw out a good luck, have fun, let's throw out I love you all, and let's make sure that we just share that around to boost the confidence in the new players, and to maybe break down some of the solid wall of hate that some of the old guys are getting as they start to, dislike certain things. And you know what? Most of all, embrace the reply. But I'm on a little bit of a love thing at the moment because I just welcomed my first child, my beautiful daughter, into the world, and there she is currently getting her cybernetic implants installed. No, I'm joking. It's just a hearing test, which she passed, by the way. Herself is healthy, her mother is healthy, I'm healthy, and I'm now very glad to be back here and to be sharing that with you. But quickly, let's go and get into this guide. TwinBlast is a really fun hero to play, guys, and as with the way I like to build my decks, it's a 40 card deck here with a total of 60 points when fully built, depending on the way that you go, but I do try and ensure that it's a full 60 points regardless, and that's whether or not you've got to put in some defense, and we'll run through that later on. So with regards to the basics of the deck, a prime card warlord, pretty simple, health pot and a strike token for my consumables, and of course my key and my ward. Now with regards to this, guys, as always, I always think it's fantastic no matter what you're doing, even if you're coming back to sell your cards, either single, duo, triple, 5-man, whatever it is, take the wards out, bust straight into the enemy camps, get those 2 wards down, port back to base, get another 2 wards out, go and drop them somewhere, and then sell your card and be back in the game to take those white camps. It can be done that quick, guys, and it really helps the start of the game to know where the enemy players are. And if they're split up a 2-3 grouping, then go and wreck the people who are on the 2. That's poor on their part to be able to be split like that, not have any countermeasures in place, and get wrecked. But I always love to do a cheeky war to start off with. So what cards am I using in this build? Hey, I've got the Flashfire Piston. With that I've got a Vicious Kinetic and 2 Mages, and we'll run through this in detail, guys. I've got 2 Nitros, obviously keys and wards. I'm running Impact Hammer, I've got my defense in place, I've got my Windcarver Blade, and I've got a Rust Breaker. So why these cards, and how do I build them for this guy? Actually, just quickly, while I was reminding myself there, this build prior to the patch, I was actually running at one stage, I think 3 or 4 Windcarvers in the build. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. It's not that these cards are unique in any sense, and I think that's quite funny that Paragon allows you at the moment to essentially, like, as many cards as what you have, you can put in. So if I wanted to run 6 Windcarvers, I could run 6 Windcarvers, so it's quite funny in that sense. But yeah, my previous build, and you would have seen that in part 1, I used some of the footage from that post-patch, even though it didn't really change my playstyle or that video. Windcarvers, I think I had about 3 of them in there. So let's get started. Flashfire Piston, guys. Straight off the bat, do your cheeky ward shit if you want to do that. Come back to your Flashfire Piston. Bam. 2 points. Roll out with a health pot. Sometimes I'll take the strike token. It's situational. You got to ask yourself, can I bully someone out of the lane without taking too much damage? If I'm confident that I can, then yes, I will take the strike token for an extra punch. If I can't, health pot. It allows you to sustain the lane a little longer and helps you fight some of the white camps and the red buff and stuff quite early into the game. So Flashfire Piston, health potion. Pretty much the best way to go for TwinBlast, I feel, in the sense of coming straight out of the gates. Then you want to move on to your Red Eye Nitro, but you want to select the Red Eye Nitro that has the Major Kinetic. Notice I have 2 in this deck. So I've got a Red Eye Nitro with a Major Kinetic, and I've got a Red Eye Nitro with wounds and a Kinetic. That's a situational choice later on. I'll address that when we come to that card. But your second card will be your Red Eye Nitro with the Major Kinetic. You want to start building your crit, guys, and you want to start getting your attack speed up there. So third card we're going to go to the Windcarver. The Windcarver is now going to then, once online, be very close to, we're just waiting for the 4th Red Eye Nitro, but it'll be very close to maxing out our attack speed. And in this build, we're going to be getting that with cards to just over 80. And we'll be using our ability Nitro to then boost up over the 100 to bring us just shy of the 2.5 per rotation for the attacks. And TwinBlaster can be a little bit frustrating to aim with, but you've got to remember, guys, sometimes you're literally going to be leading, 1 to 2 centimeters on your screen ahead of the target. to be able to hit them. So it just takes a little practice to get that down. But Wing Carver, and you want to max this out, it's a very cheap card to build. 3 points, 6 points in upgrades. So, very, very cheap. 9 points. You can get that on the field extremely quickly. In fact, you should have these 3 cards on the field before 25 minutes. Okay, you want to try and be aiming for that. Those 3 cards before 25 minutes. So that's starting off with your Flashfire Piston, your Health Potion. You want to max that Flashfire Piston out. Bring out your second Red Eye Nitro with the Major Kinetic, and then move on to your Wing Carver Blade. And the whole time you still got that Health Potion, guys. You're going to be going back to base. You're going to be healing. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to be absolutely starting to wreck some people. Keep in mind though, disclaimer, this is how I play it. I know not everyone plays TwinBlast the same way. This build definitely doesn't really heavily come online until, kind of after the 30-35 minutes. And I know that that's too long for some people. That's why I've got these cards reasonably cheap to try and bring on some damage early. But, guys, remember, do not go and take damage if you don't need to take it. If you can't get a good jump on someone, if you can't use a grenade to get them in a gank, then don't really engage until you can. You don't want to just be throwing your health away either. So your 4th card, now this is where you've got a choice. This is where you need to look at what's happening around the board. Are you getting wrecked, and do you need some additional punch? Or are you happy enough to build another card where you're going to be then maxing out your crit? And your crit will max out at 42% in this build. So your 4th card, you need to make a decision whether you're going to make your second Red Eye Nitro to complete your crit build, or whether you're going to bring out the Impact Hammer. And that's the final thing in the overall build. But remember, with this Impact Hammer, we're only getting the last 3% crit chance, which is why you can decide to bring the Red Eye Nitro online before this one if you want. So that just comes down to just making sure, do you need a little bit of extra punch from the Impact Hammer strikes, or are you happy to build the wounds and start to get that online? Now, this is where we have a choice as well, okay? Your attack speed. Yes, I'm not maxing attack speed with this build. Even with Nitro, the ability of plus 25 at max level, I'm not maxing the attack speed. So if you're having problems landing your shots, then I would recommend you switch out one of your wounds for the kinetic here to just boost that attack speed up a little bit more. And then you can get a few more shots off per rotation, and maybe then you can do the kind of blind fire kind of stuff. I think it's roughly here, and I'm going to kind of maybe hit them with 2 out of the 4 shots or whatever it is that you're aiming for. But that's your decision point. And by now, you're going to be looking at 30 minutes, 35 minutes. You're going to have 4 cards, or maybe 40 minutes, depending on how the match is going. But keep in mind, you'll be farming those white camps, farming red, farming blue buffs, and farming players. And farming their camps as well, guys. And you know what? Why not bloody well farm their harvesters too? Bugger them. Farm everything, okay? That's what you want to do. Everywhere the enemy isn't, and everywhere they are. Know where they are, know where they aren't, and be there. So, you should be at your 4-point cards by now. And this is where you need to look at how are things going. Because if at this point you've been having a little bit of trouble, and you've actually been getting, kind of caught out when you're trying to rotate to do your ganks, or to take on other people, and you're having some problems, then I've got your 2 defense builds here, and you would want to probably max these out maybe around the 3rd or 4th card, depending on how much trouble you are having, or even just bring them on the field and delay the build of another card. Sometimes just even having the Tempered Plate or the Tuned Barrier out there can help as well. These are a 9-point card, so that there is quite a lot of expense there, but they are maintained in point build for that second Nitro. So your second Nitro is also a 9-point build when you're looking at just the wounds in that sense too, and forgetting about the kinetic there, but I mean it equals out anyway. So you can switch and delay this second Nitro for some damage as the 3rd or 4th card if you are having some problems. Because I tell you what, guys, when you get to late game and you've been able to sustain your ability to be ahead of the curve CXP wise to get to that late game, you're not going to need your defense. Your damage is going to be friggin' insane. You're going to be shredding most people before they can kill you anyway. And then you're going to be shooting off somewhere else and changing lanes, or porting back to base and coming back out again. So that's where you want to potentially start to look at if you need some defense. Around the 3rd or 4th card, which is when you're looking at your second Red Eye or your Impact Hammer. I'm sorry, 4th or 5th, I do apologize. your Impact Hammer or your Red Eye. Hey, look, if you need to bring it on early, bring it on early. All you're doing is just delaying the build. It's not a big issue. It's better that happening than you constantly getting wrecked every time you're trying to support a team fight or you're taking some serious damage. But if all things go well, Flash Fire Piston, we've built it. Red Eye Nitro, we've built it. Wind Cover Blade, we're building it. We're feeling the power now. We're running behind people. We're throwing a grenade down. We're wrecking them. Impact Hammer's coming online. Oh my god, you're busting the 350 to 400 kind of crits now, guys. Shit's getting real. It's getting a lot of fun. And then you're ready to bring in the Rust Breaker. Oh, but Del, wouldn't you bring that on early? I mean, your physical penetration is not going to really mean much towards the late game. Yeah, but guys, look at this. The physical penetration is just there on a just in case people are starting to build against you, which I don't really think happens that much. And if it does, it's normally because there's a tank there, and if there is a tank there, you're going to ignore him until he's the last player in the team fight. So this Rust Breaker is about the final piece of the puzzle. It's about that damage. The 15.2 damage straight up, the 7.6 damage on build completion, and the 3 major strikes that you're going to rock out with that. So you're going to be looking at, overall, being around 235.2 physical damage from cards once this build's completed. Now there are 2 other ways that this can go, 212 or 257, depending on how you will build with the different options there, such as needing a little bit more attack speed and a little less crit, or if you're going to be building some defense in too, you're going to be obviously dropping off some of your damage as well, guys. But to quickly recap, Flash Fire Piston, Health Pot from the gates, build your Nitro with your Major Kinetic, come down, build your Wind Cover, get that into the area, get your Impact Hammer online, get your other Nitro online, and then get your Rust Breaker online. Guys, red buff as well, you want to try and make sure you've got that all the time happening too. 500 plus is the numbers you're going to be seeing on the screen very regularly, and you're going to surprise the hell out of people. Do you know why? Because they start to push you and bully you early game because you don't have a lot of punch, and they're going to sometimes come online quicker than you depending on who you're against. And I love it. I love it when you get a Murdoch who comes online faster than you and he's bullying you out of the lane. The next thing you know, 35-minute mark kicks over and you're throwing a grenade at him and he's shredded. He's standing there going, what the hell is this TwinBlast building? And they're going to be checking your build out. And I'll go up against other TwinBlasters who want to throw a whole bunch of other cards out there. And I tell you what, guys, my play style, the way I do it, watch part 1, this works and this synergizes with that kind of ganker style of getting out there. And you're going to be having your health pot with you pretty much until the last card. So you're going to be able to get ganks, whether it's a 1v1 and they're knocking you down in health, you can then change lanes, heal up, go and kill some white camps. Because while you're killing the white camps, you're going to be like grenading the white camps and almost one-shotting the red camp. Trust me, the grenade will nearly kill the 2 white guards, and you'll just have 2 shots on the friggin' red guy before you even take any damage. So you're going to be healing while you're getting a red buff, while you're getting a blue buff, not taking any additional damage, and then you're on your way to get another gank. And that's what TwinBlaster is to me, guys. He's a ganker. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. As always, guys, please subscribe. Please chuck a like if you like the video. Let me know if you want me to look at some other things out there. Tell your friends. I'm going to try and bring as good content as I can, and I promise to get better and better at this. Anyway, you take care, YouTube. See you later.